It's your favorite model, host, content creator, all that and above, Alia. And we back with another YouTube video. So y'all, I know the quality of the video probably don't look as tea as all my other ones. I literally had a 22-hour travel time. I am back in Senegal. Y'all probably like, girl, you just told us you was in America. What are you talking about? That's why y'all gotta keep up with the series In Between Homes, because I told y'all I'm figuring it out, okay? But today I really kind of just want to loop y'all into the stuff I wasn't able to go into detail in the In Between Homes series that I started, episode 1, episode 2. If you have not seen them, they're posted on my YouTube shorts, my TikTok, and also my Instagram. So go watch them, loop yourself in so that you're informed, right? So in my series, I talk about I feel like I lost my identity being in Senegal. I was working a job in Senegal that was very toxic. The environment was toxic, and it caused me to go into survival mode because of the jealousy that I was going through at the job, and because of the intimidation and just the whole environment and everything. So I'm gonna answer a few questions that I posted on I posted like a Q&A box on Instagram, and a few questions like from the comments on all of my social media apps, and just really give y'all the rundown on what was going through my mind, what I was going through, and everything else. If you had watched my video when it talked about the 10 culture shocks in Senegal, this video of me explaining to you me going into survival mode, it shouldn't be a shock. Yeah, honestly, it just shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be a shock to anybody, honestly, because as a immigrant in any country, like, it doesn't matter where you go. If you're an immigrant in any country, you're gonna go through some type of shock, survival mode. Like, you gonna go through something. And unfortunately for me, I feel like it's a little bit harder because I'm in a country that I don't speak the language whatsoever. So my experiences, I feel like I experienced them a little bit harder than other people, or a little bit faster, primarily because when I got here, I should have just been living life like as a wife and just like doing it up. But instead, I wanted to get a job and like throw myself into the culture like so quickly instead of just allowing it to just like be natural. So anyway, let's get the video started. All right, so let's start from the beginning. So a lot of y'all was asking me in the comments, what was I doing for work? So I got my bachelor's degree from the University of Texas, San Antonio, and my bachelor's degree is in communications with a public relations concentration, right? From a friend of a friend, I ended up getting a recommendation to apply to school up in Dakar, Senegal. And I applied. I did like 2 interviews, and then I got the job. But it's also Islamic school, which is amazing, right? It's amazing because you're in Senegal. Why would you not want to work at an Islamic school? So originally, like, I've never ever thought about working at a school whatsoever. Never. But I was in America. If y'all remember, I had moved to Dallas. So I really had wanted to move to Senegal to be around my husband, around my mother-in-law and stuff. So it just seemed like the perfect opportunity for me to go ahead, get a job, and move here. And the salary was good for Senegal. So anyway, the position I took at this school was the academic coordinator. So originally, when I signed my contract, when I signed my agreement, everything, it was the salary that we agreed upon. It was for me to be an academic coordinator. Like, y'all know how I be with my long story shorts. Girl, I don't be trying to keep y'all here too long. But so I'm just gonna start from the beginning, and we're gonna get to the end of like how everything transpired. So I started working at this school that drew my attention because Obviously, it was marketed as an Islamic institution, whatever. I do not speak French in Wolof, so my experiences are gonna be a little bit harder than a French person moving here and they're able to integrate into speaking French. When I first started working there, I approached things as, you know, we've learned in America. Like, I seen a lot of problems, like a lot of issues. And obviously I know that I'm in Africa, so I didn't have this like super high expectation. I actually had no expectation whatsoever because I didn't know what to like expect. But I would give you an example. Like, when I first got there, nobody spoke to me. Nobody greeted me. I didn't understand, like, nobody knew who I was. I didn't know who nobody was. Nobody gave me a tour around the school. Nobody was like, hi, what's your name? Like, you're new here. Like, literally nothing. That was like the first red flag. I was like, what is going on? Like, I couldn't find the bathroom. I couldn't find the classrooms. I couldn't find nothing. I was literally like on my own. And so I feel like honestly, maybe it was my fault. When I got there, the problems that I started to see, I started to write them down and give solutions to the problems that I started to see. Because when I first got there, I did a few things. I did a few trainings and stuff and listened to a lot of the problems just to prepare me as the administrator of, you know, what I was the administrator of. And because I look Senegalese, and I'm telling them people like, I'm not Senegalese, I'm American, I don't speak Wolof, I don't speak French, that automatically put a bad taste in their mouth. Like, they was like, we not messing with her, like, we not speaking to her, we not finna be around her, like, we not, like, none of that. Then to make matters worse, they seen that I had an office. They seen that I had an office, so it made stuff even worse. Like, okay, so to give y'all basically like the gist of how Senegal works is, people don't usually have jobs at the age of 24, 25. 20 to 25, I'm gonna say that. Or let's say 15 to 25, don't nobody be having no jobs here. The females, if they do have a job, they're either cleaning houses, cooking for somebody, or they don't really be nannying, but they be like in people's houses, cleaning and cooking. As for the men, I don't really know what they be doing, cause the men, I don't know what the men be doing at that age. But majority of what Senegalese people are doing at the age of 15 to 25 is they're in school. That's what they're doing. So it's not something that's like really common to see somebody so young in a professional setting and then they have their own office. So I understood at that extent, but it was still very weird. So fast forward, I end up signing my contract. My boss ends up leaving, traveling to another country, and I got a schedule. The first week of school, I got a schedule. And the schedule was for me to teach English. It was for me to teach an English class. And I was supposed to teach this English class 4 times a week, as well as be the academic coordinator 5 times a week. And so I was really confused. I was like, my contract don't say this. This was never disclosed to me. My boss didn't tell it to me. My boss told somebody else to tell me. And then I was just like, I was just confused. I was so confused. Like, I didn't understand what was going on. And I also was like too scared to like speak up because I didn't want to like cause tension between anybody. Mind y'all, like when I started working at this job, I started 2 months into me being back into Senegal. So 4 months I was here, I got married, and then I left, went back to the States. And then when I finally decided to move here, I was here a month and a half, and then I start working. So this is very much this is like a study abroad experience for me. So end up being told that I had to teach an English class 4 times a week. I've never ever taught a class. I've never nothing. That's all I could say. Nothing. I've never been in here's your paper, let me grade your paper, nothing. And so I'm explaining my discomfort to the person who told me, and amongst other administrators, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do about this situation? I end up sending an email to my boss, telling my boss like, hey, like this is not gonna work for me. This is a lot. And my boss ended up telling the person who told me, no, she's gonna teach that class. I don't want anybody else teaching that class. She's gonna teach that class. So that was like something it was really weird for me. It was very uncomfortable. It was something where I kind of felt like she was saying, like how dare I even tell her that I don't want to teach the class? Like, I'm not, like, she's not my equal. I can't be telling her what I am and what I'm not gonna do. So I went back and I read my contract. Now this is like where the start of, like, I feel like all the tension just started with me in my chest, like, because I was just like, this is crazy. I went back, checked my contract. Contract basically says, like, she can add on to my hours, she can add on to my duties, or she could remove my duties, whatever. I didn't know. And so because I tell her in my contract, I'm like, hey boo, I didn't say hey boo, but I was telling her, like, hey, like, you know, this is not working for me. And my contract say academic coordinator, like, why am I teaching? Anyway, make a long story short, I ended up teaching the class because I did feel really, really bad that they was not gonna have a teacher. So I ended up teaching it for the first trimester. Now the rest of the trimesters, y'all, I swear to y'all, wallahi, I had no idea I was supposed to teach them. I was like, okay, let me get this first trimester out the way, and then she gonna find a teacher for the second and third trimester. No, after I finished that first trimester, and I told her, I said, oh, okay, woo. Y'all, that lady sent me an email, told me I was unprofessional, all this type of stuff for trying to abandon the children. I had no idea I was supposed to be teaching the second and third trimester. Okay, so now I'm teaching, and I'm thinking about my salary. I'm thinking about, y'all gotta follow me. I'm an American, okay? I moved to Senegal, and the average salary in Senegal is about, this is the average we're talking about. The average salary in Senegal is about 200,000 CFA, which is approximately, I think it's approximately 200,000 CFA is approximately 352 USD. That's what it says on calculator, but that's not like accurate. It's probably like 320 USD. It's not even around 350. It's probably like 300, 320. So the average salary is 200,000 CFA. When you get an apartment, the minimum, like a livable, you know what I'm saying, apartment with like different color lights, an AC installed or whatever, the minimum you gonna be paying is 200,000. So mind you, Senegalese people are working every single day. They got, some of them might have a minimum, literally a salary of 200,000. They still gotta pay for their rent. They still have to pay, or if they live in, most of the time they live with the family, they still would have to pay like something for the house, groceries, their children in school, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's honestly, alhamdulillah, I was working at that job because I learned so much about how the system works here, like the government, people, how people just live. Like, I learned so much stuff that I wouldn't have been able to learn so fast had I not been working at this job. Like, I have a soft spot now for Senegalese husbands, like Senegalese moms. Like, I have a soft spot for so many different groups in Senegal because of the experience I went through as an American. So I could only imagine as a Senegalese, when you have no choice but to work this job, you know these people not treating you right, you know these people is making you, like, treating you like a slave, and they paying you 200,000. Okay, boom. Anyways, so the salary is, the base salary is 200,000. At the school that I was at, later on down the line, like a few months after, me and my friend was getting like different phone calls from people that worked at the job or people that was trying to get a job there, and they was telling us like the salaries that the lady was offering. She was offering people like 60,000 CFA, 70,000 CFA, 80,000 CFA to work 5 times a week, 7:45 to 5 o'clock, 7:45 to 4:30. She's paying these people 60 to 70 to 80,000. Millions of dollars. Y'all, when I tell y'all, I was at that school, literally, I was like, I'm trying to keep facts and feelings separate. Like, I want y'all to understand, I'm trying to keep facts and feelings completely separate, But if y'all understand, like, as a southern girly, as somebody who grew up low income, as somebody who mama grind 2 jobs to take care of us as a single parent, as somebody who does have a Senegalese family, like, it was so much stuff that I was seeing as a Muslim. It was so much stuff that I was seeing and I was hearing, and I kept saying to myself, Allah gonna ask me about knowing this on the day of judgment. Allah gonna ask me how I knew about this. I ain't help, I ain't say nothing, and I ain't give nobody advice on how they could have did better. Mind y'all, my salary wasn't that low, so I wasn't really complaining too much. My salary wasn't that low. My salary compared to an American, it was low. But for my salary for me to be, you know what I'm saying, doing what I want to do up in Senegal, no questions, no, like, you know what I'm saying, gotta answer to nobody, gotta never ask my husband for no money, my salary was cool. But the average American, the average Spanish person, the average French person that comes here and get a job, the minimum that they're probably gonna tell you that they want to pay you is 700,000 CFA. So if you are applying to a job in Senegal and that company is not like Senegalese owned or Senegalese based, don't let them pay you nothing less than 700,000 CFA. That's approximately, I'm finna tell y'all what it said on calculator. That's approximately 1,236 USD. That's good. That's good for your taxes. That's good for your living. Baby, you can get you a nice little apartment up in Almadi, up in my mills, whatever. But if you go, I'm telling y'all right now, if you are applying to any jobs in Senegal, if you trying to look to get hired anywhere, do not let nobody pay you less than 700,000. The minimum you could go is 650,000 CFA. That's the minimum you could go. But every girl that I know that works in Senegal that is not from Senegal, that is from Spain or from France or from the US, the jobs that they are working at, they are not Senegalese institutions or Senegalese companies, and they do get paid more than 600,000 CFA. Let's get into what y'all really want to know, okay? The survival mode, the intimidation, the jealousy. Comments, one of the comments said, how did the job change me and what parts of myself did I lose? Them questions hit so deep because I didn't actually realize that I was losing part of myself until my face started breaking out and I wasn't eating as much. So the conditions that I was working in, I wanna preface this because I already know, I'm letting y'all know this now, I already know half of the institution is watching this video, okay? And so I do want to say that I very much did love my students. I very, very, very much did. I really, very much did. The ones that I loved, okay? But working at this institution that was supposed to be Islamic, opened my eyes to so much stuff that I feel like it's traumatized me in a way. Like I feel like I'm stuck in a time machine and somebody need to like shake me to wake me up. One of the reflections that I had made from working there was I literally could not decide, and this is probably why y'all be thinking I hate Senegal, but I literally could not decide if it was Senegal that was like literally having me in a chokehold or if it was me working at the job. I could not tell because when I moved here, I started working at the same time and I was working Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So I could not tell if a lot of the problems that I was having, a lot of the self-doubt that I was having, I couldn't tell if it was due to me working in this environment or if it was just because I had just moved to Senegal. I didn't know. But when I started to see that it was nothing that I could do, it was no amount of professionalism that I could have, it was no amount of smiling, of happiness, of changes that I could bring into the institution. When I started seeing that, like people was upset with me for just being who I was, then I started to creep back a little bit. Like I kind of was just like, let me go ahead and just shut my mouth. Let me go ahead and just do what I gotta do, because as a Muslim, I'm getting paid to work. So I got to work. You know what I'm saying? And one of the things I never forget, I will never forget this. It was probably my first month there. People kept telling me, you move so fast, slow down. You walk so fast, slow down. I swear to y'all, bro. People kept telling me this. Slow down, slow down. Yeah, when new people come, they always start like you. They always excited. They always working so hard. I give you a few weeks. and then you just gonna stop. You gonna stop. You gonna see that you don't really need to even work that hard to like be here. And so I kept saying, what kind of weirdness is this? Like, why is y'all like praying on my, like, what is this? I don't understand. Thing for me in the US, this is like a very big difference. In the US, in Senegal too, they have HR. But the HR in the US versus the HR in Senegal is completely different. The HR in Senegal, the Senegalese people be saying it's just for decoration. That's for them to get their accreditation to open a business. But the HR in America, they don't play like that. You go tell them people somebody was touching you, it's time to go. Wrap it up. And so one thing that really, it started to like affect me was the fact that I felt like I was trapped. I felt like, this is not even I feel, this is the truth. It was literally it was nowhere I could run. It was nowhere I could run. I had to start coming home telling my mother-in-law what was going on because there was no HR. There's one person. That's the money man. That's the man who pays us. One person. And then I'm going to tell my boss what happened. And my boss telling me every time, you just got to stop listening to everything everybody say. You just got to stop listening to everything everybody say. I'm telling her, y'all, I'll never forget. A man came into my office. And the man gonna tell me, Alia, you know what's the Taliban? I said, yeah, what's the Taliban? I know the Taliban. He said, tomorrow, when you come to school, I want you to give money, give a coin, 1000 francs, anything to the Taliban. And I was like, why? This man is married with kids. This man told me he woke up during Tahajjud to ask Allah to protect me because he didn't feel that I was safe working at the school. And so I was like, can y'all imagine being American and somebody coming up to you telling you, you've been working at a job for like 3-4 months, somebody telling you that they worried about your safety? Hello? Can you imagine what that does to your brain? They're worried about your safety. Mind you, I ain't did nobody nothing, so I was confused. He tell me, don't put nothing in your trash can. You eat some fruit. Put the pills in your purse. Don't clean out your trash can before you leave. Don't leave nothing in your office that's personal. I'm like, what? Y'all, like, I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad because, y'all, I was so scared. Like, can you imagine? Like, no, I actually want y'all to imagine, like, as a Muslim, as a revert, as a foreigner. I'm starting to think, okay, Allah told me to do my, say my 3 qurs and do my ayatul kursi and I'll be good. But what is this man talking about? Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So shortly after he tells me that, weird stuff started happening. Literally, I was isolated. Y'all, when I tell y'all, nobody talked to me. It was only 2 women in my entire department. The woman couldn't stand me. I probably had like 2 conversations with her. She couldn't stand me. She could not stand how happy I was, how much I just was joyous, how eager I was to bring in new ideas. When I originally first got there, a lot of the kids knew me from social media. So it was like 50-50. Some of the kids loved me from social media, and then some of the kids knew me from social media and just felt like I was their equal, that they didn't have to respect me, so they didn't like me. So it was like a 50-50. But the kids who was like, cool with me, she didn't like that they was cool. It was a lot of weird stuff. But for majority of the staff, it was men. And so nobody spoke to me. I would say salam alaikum to people. Nobody would give me salams back. No, like it was insane. I would have to have meetings with like the staff. I would sit there and I would talk. People would scream. Y'all, wallahi, I'm not joking. The men would scream at me for me saying ideas. Well, we don't like that this last year, this was happening. And I would be like, do y'all not know that I'm not the boss? Like, I'm here as the academic coordinator. This, whatever problems that y'all have, that has nothing to do with me. But they took different opportunities to scream at me. I have no idea why. I have no idea why. A lot of people was telling me like, oh, it's because my age, because I'm young, they older than me. Like, it was just a lot of, what is it, seniority, whatever it's called. So, fast forward. Every day I was going through something. I was either going through children disrespecting me, my boss literally doing nothing. She did nothing. Nothing about anything that, like, nothing. Nothing. I don't even want to waste my time talking about her. Nothing. I'm telling you, I'm scared. She don't care. I'm telling you, nobody's listening to me. She don't care. I'm telling you, I'm doing all the work. Y'all, wallahi, I'm doing all the work. I'm doing everything. You could see, like for example, one week, we had exams. And my job was to collect all the exams, go through all the exams, approve them, send them for printing, staple all of them, and pass them out. Mind you, that is all of what I just said. That is a team effort. I was doing it by myself. One comment, a man came to me, one of the teachers, and I asked him, could he help me? And he said yes. After the fact, this is the same teacher who told me that to give money to the Taliban. He came to me and he told me, he said, the teachers was asking him why he helping me, let me fail. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they keep telling me like, stop helping you, let you fail. And I was like, how is me passing out y'all exams? How is me not passing out y'all exams allowing me to fail? Isn't y'all students gonna suffer? So what is it? Like, it was a tit for tat to make sure Alia failed. Like, it was things that was going on at the school where, mind y'all, this is an Islamic school. It was things that was going on at the school that made me, I swear on everything I love. I was coming home to my husband and I was telling him, like, when we have children, I'm not raising my kids in this country. My kid's not going to school here. My kid's not going to private school. My kid's not, bro. I'm telling you, I'm going in. Like, the stuff that I was seeing, it was insane, bro, y'all. Bro, we had students doing haram. We had girls in the bathroom. We had girls in the bathroom with boys. We had boys in the bathroom with boys. We had teachers touching students. What happened? Nothing. The maximum that was happening was a little suspension for maybe a month. And then they would come right back. Can you imagine? Can you imagine an Islamic school? Can you imagine being new? Being new to a school, being a revert, you seeing the stuff that you seeing, and then you thinking, well, that's why ain't no respect. That's why I wouldn't have respect for me either. I don't even have, the kids didn't even have respect for the institution. So why would they have respect for me? But that just made my job 10 times harder because I didn't have nobody on my back, behind me. I didn't have a boss that was standing behind me saying, woo, woo, woo. I didn't have that. I didn't have a team of people that was ready to work. I had a team of older people who did not want to work. And every time I was willing to do all the work, they looking at me like this. What, she come from America. She want to just show that she, no, that's how you get fired in America when you don't work. Hello. Somebody, they tell you, go ahead, clock out, shawty, go ahead, go home. So I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I lied. I'm there and I'm doing what it is that I've been doing my entire life since I was 15, working. I'm not you know what I'm saying? So then, fast forward, I started hearing the reasons why people didn't like me. They were saying, instead of them teaching me, they was just throwing, bro. Some people were saying they didn't like me because I didn't greet people by name. Mind y'all, can y'all imagine? The men was telling me they would not call me Madam Say. Even the kid, to this day, to right now, it's probably 2 people that worked at the institution that I was at who will call me Madam Say. Them people told me they would not call me Madam Say because I'm not Senegalese. Can you imagine saying that like to a Senegalese woman that comes to America and her last name is Jackson? Her husband's last name Jackson, and you tell her you're not gonna call her Miss Jackson or Madam Jackson because she not American? Y'all, can y'all imagine like the stuff, like just little stuff that was just like, and mind you, I'm by myself. I'm not only isolated out from Americans, I'm isolated out in a sense of there's no other women that's on the team, on the floor, or whatever. There's no director that I can go sit. There's no principal I can go sit, and she actually gives me advice. She wasn't giving me advice. She just kept telling me, don't listen to what they say. Don't listen to what they say. So because I was going through all of that isolation, hearing so much stuff, dealing with so much like, just, I don't know. I cannot explain it to y'all. Like it kind of felt like, you know, on social media when you have haters, you know you got haters on social media and they be like, oh, when you got haters, you winning. Just imagine, bro, it felt like something Degrassi. Forget that, it felt like Degrassi. It felt like being in high school and I was a high schooler and I had just did something that was just, I had just committed zina. That's how it felt. It felt like I had just committed zina or something and the entire school knew and everybody just hated me. That's literally how it felt. Can you imagine the kids not respecting me? The teachers are talking about me to the kids. People are taking photos of me. Y'all, my first month there, wallahi, I swear to you, I'm not lying. My first month there, everybody knew who I was. Everybody knew who I was. One day, I have a student from America. He one of them like bad kids. And I tell him, get on from the, he was sitting on the window. I tell him, get on. The boy gonna tell me, Miss Alia, you know it's a picture of you going around. I said, what you talking about? He said, you got a tattoo on your back? I said, what? Y'all, this is the first month I started working there. I said, what? He said, yeah, one day, your hijab, y'all know like when we be wearing our abayas and sometimes like the neck be too big and you put your stuff, but you swipe it, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it might lean like this or whatever. So in the back though, in the back. So I do have a tattoo on my back. Never been ashamed of it, but I'm a revert. I don't have to talk about those things. I did that before I was Muslim, so I don't have to talk about that. And so the boy tells me one day you was writing something on the board and your hijab moved and we could see like one of the little words on your back and somebody took a picture of it, right? This is what the boy is telling me. Somebody took a picture of it. And I said, okay. He said, and then they took the picture of you. They took the picture of you. They made a group chat and they shared it on Snapchat. They shared it on Snapchat in a group chat. And there's a picture of you going around in a bikini. So mind y'all, I started panicking. I was like, but I ain't sure the boy I'm panicking, but I was just like, huh, mind y'all, Islamic institution. Do I have to keep reiterating that? Islamic. So I'm like, huh, in a bikini? I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I said, who? I said, who did that? He said, I'm not finna tell you their name. I said, what you mean? He said, I'm not telling you their name. All I'm gonna tell you is that they in high school. And so I said, I was like, why would you not tell me? Do you know them? He said, I know their name. No, he said, I don't know their name. I know who they is, but even if I knew their name, I wouldn't tell you. And then he walked away. I went and told my boss, wallahi. I went and told her. You know what she told me? Well, how would they know that you have a tattoo on your back? How do they have a picture of you on your of you in a bikini. Maybe you need to go through your social media and check and make sure you don't have any of that on your social media. So I was like, what? I said, first of all, the boy told me that my hijab had moved, which is normal. Any hijab that happens to everybody. My hijab had moved. He seen it, whatever, whatever. That don't even matter. So by this time, I'm crying. Like, I'm buku crying. This is my first month at the school. I'm buku crying. And so nothing happened. I end up telling one of the other administrators. He goes and tries to like find the loop or whatever, because he been there longer than me. He go and try to like find the loop. Let's fast forward 3 months later. Nothing happened. Nobody investigated it. No, nothing that I know of. If something did happen, I didn't know of it. Okay. 3 months later, we in October, or 2 months later. Was it October, November? Maybe November. Students are in my office and they bring this situation up and they telling me they like Madam Alia, because nobody called me Madam Say, because I'm not Senegalese. So they said that I don't deserve to be called Madam Say. Madam Alia, remember that time when that picture of you in the bikini was going around? I said, yeah. Well, these are the students who started it. I said, okay. And I said, so can you tell me where the bikini picture came from? Because to this day, whatever today is, June 12th, I never seen the photo. Y'all, please tell me why it was a photo from my Instagram page. AI'd my abaya off my body, put me in a bikini, AI'd my hijab off my head, and put a wig on my head, and put me in a bikini with my arms up. And even though, from the kid's mouth, and even though they could tell that it was AI, everybody still talked about it. And everybody still shared it around. Parents were seeing it. And then the kids was like, I said, why would y'all not tell me that? They said, oh, well, we didn't know you like that at the time to tell you. I said, what? I'm a Muslim. I'm a hijabi. I said, wow. What does y'all knowing me have anything to do? Whatever. Let's keep going. Just those little situations of me telling y'all, I lost so much of myself. Like, I lost confidence in myself 92%, because everything that I kept talking about, like everything I kept bringing up to people, everybody kept telling me that it was me. Everybody kept telling me, oh, Alia, it's because you don't speak French. It's because you don't speak Wolof. It's because you don't understand. It's because you didn't speak to people by their name. It's because you didn't do this. It's because you didn't do that. And I kept saying, well, why did nobody just tell me? I'm fresh. I'm a fob at this point. I'm fresh off the boat. Why y'all didn't just tell me I need to learn this dude's full name? Hello? I didn't grow up hearing these names every single day. Why y'all didn't just tell me don't trust nobody? Why y'all didn't just tell me don't work so hard? You don't have to work so hard. Nobody gets rewarded for working hard. If anything, if you work hard, that's a target on your back. Why nobody didn't tell me that? Why was nobody looking to make sure that I was okay? Why was nobody telling me to prioritize my mental health? It was literally like a ha 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 ha, look at her, ha 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 ha, at an Islamic institution. And I was trying my absolute hardest. I wasn't trying to change a single thing. But as a person who has the background that I have, as a person who really genuinely cares about animals, kids, justice, like all type of stuff, like integrity, as a person that cares about those type of things, I literally could not be working at a job and not fix what it was that I could fix. Can you imagine a child coming to you telling you a teacher touched her breast and you can't do anything? I did so many things that if I was in America, I wouldn't even have to get to the fourth tactic. I literally interviewed her, got statements from her, checked the cameras, put cameras in the classroom that she said there was no cameras in. I literally did every single thing that I could do. And still to this day, the girl stayed in the class. Why did she stay in the class? Because if we had no proof on the camera that what she said was true. So imagine what that did to me mentally as a Muslim as well. I was so confused. And okay, a lot of y'all could be like, okay, Aliyah, it's your age. It's your age. If it's my age, good. If it's my age, good. I'm happy. And I hope that I continue to be shocked at stuff that is not done properly. If it's my age, good. Because at no age, 40, 41, 42, all the way to you about to die, no way should a child be telling you that a man is doing something to her, and the first thing that every single adult says is maybe that child is lying. Can y'all imagine what that was doing to me? As a person who has friends that have been raped, that have been sexually assaulted, as a person who was in high school and teachers was flirting with me, and I knew nobody was not gonna believe me. Can y'all imagine what I was trying to do to help this child? And everybody telling me, well, Aliyah, this is Senegal. This is normal. Aliyah, this is Africa. You can't change. But wallahi, alhamdulillah. Literally, alhamdulillah, for every single thing I witnessed. All the reflections that I had to make, or all, like, literally, alhamdulillah, because I swear to y'all, everything I love, the skin that I had to build, confidence in myself that I lost. Like, I still feel like it's hard for me to even make videos. Like, I literally deactivated my social media. And a lot of y'all was like, girl, where's Aliyah? Like, can y'all imagine being in a place where you can see your haters every single day? I was literally scared to post stuff because every single thing I was posting, it was getting screenshotted, sent around, videos. Like, it was just so much mouth. It was so much mouth that I was literally scared to post myself. I was like, okay, it's different, like, when you know you got haters, you know what I'm saying? But you don't gotta be you don't gotta be in an institution. Hello, this is not high school, middle school. You don't have to be in an institution where every single day you go in there, people not speaking to you, people talking about your videos. People was recording me while I was at work. My office, sometime I would go in my office, the door would be broke, like somebody took a knife to like go inside of there. Like, it was just so much stuff. I was like, it was so much. I was like, what is happening? Do y'all want me to leave? I said, it feel like y'all want me to die. Like, that's literally how it felt. I was like, these people are doing anything in their right mind for me to go. And I was like, why? Like, what have I done besides work? That was literally what I felt like was the problem. I was working. I was doing what it was that I needed to do. I was calling people out. I can't lie. I was calling people out because it was a lot of stuff that was happening. And I was telling my boss, I was telling her, I'm like, hey, this stuff is going on. And what did she do? What did she do? She would go to the people that I would tell her. She would go to the people that I would talk to her about and say, oh, this teacher had his feet up on the table. This teacher wasn't doing this. This teacher wasn't doing that. She would literally go to them and tell them that I said, this lady wasn't doing her job. This man wasn't doing his job. This man did this to a student. This man did this. So not only did people not like me, I was working. People was like, oh, she trying to take our job. She want all us to get fired. She a snitch. Mind y'all, the lady was telling me, let me know if this don't get done. Let me know if this teacher is like this. Let me know if this. And then I go report to you and tell you what's happening. And you go and tell them that it's Aliyah to do it. You know what it felt like? It felt like my boss knew that they was hated for so long that majority of the institution couldn't stand them. So they needed a fall guy, and I was the fall guy. This is the person that y'all need to hate. Here she go. It's me. The person y'all need to hate is me. That's literally how I felt. That was literally the situation. To make matters worse, let's talk about the conditions. Let's really get into this. This is like more important than everything. I had no insurance whatsoever. So in that video of between homes, When I said it was no stability, no nothing, I had no insurance whatsoever. My contract, the contract agreement that I had, it was not filed with the court. So basically, it was literally basically a Google Doc that was signed by me, the director, the HR. It was all signed by us, but there's no legal bondmanship to the contract whatsoever. So on top of me having literally no contract basically, which was why my boss was able to do whatever they wanted to do, because the contract really was just like, I wasn't gonna be able, or they thought that I wasn't gonna be able to do nothing with the contract being like not filed with the court. So that's why they was making me do whatever it was that they was making me do without any repercussions to them. I had no insurance whatsoever. I got sick. My mother-in-law got sick. I was promised insurance with up to 7 people put on my insurance, up to 7 people in my family put on my insurance for us to go to the doctor or whatever. Woo. My body was not used to the water that was in Senegal, so I had diarrhea for like 4 or 5 days. I was like, hello, where can I get my insurance? I was told to go to the Poste de Santé. Poste de Santé is basically a clinic where even the lowest of the low Senegalese people do not go. I was told to go to the Poste de Santé as an American hiring an American. So no actual contract agreement, no insurance. I'm working 2 positions. I'm not only an academic coordinator 5 times a week, but now I'm also a teacher 4 times a week. When it came to food, I know I was making jokes and like happy on TikTok about my mother-in-law packing me up food and bringing it to school. We had to pay every single day for lunch. Mind y'all, the lunch, it was Senegalese lunch. Literally Senegalese lunch. I could eat that at home. You know what I'm saying? We had to pay for everything. Can you imagine paying 1,500 for literally a bowl of cheboujen? 1,500, the meal for a bowl of yasagana. Why are we paying this much? Why are we paying the meal every single month out of our salary to eat the food that we eating at home? That don't even make sense to me. There's no water. There's no teacher's lounge. For the bathroom, y'all, I would have to leave work, take a Yango home just to do number 2. You know why? Because there was no staff bathroom. The staff had to use the bathroom in the toilets of the students. Can y'all imagine that? We having to make wudu next to students that's splashing water everywhere. We having to hold our urine. We having to hold our number 2 because we have to share the bathroom with the students. Can y'all imagine? Mind you, I'm telling y'all, it's millions of dollars, billions of dollars coming into this institution. These are problems that was there long before I got there and still never got fixed. But the boss didn't feel like they needed to fix those situations. Why? Because it's majority of Senegalese people that's working there. You paying them below the salary. You're not giving them any contracts. They don't have any. There's nothing that's happening. They can't do anything, and they need to feed their families. So they can't do nothing. They can't say nothing. So can you imagine hiring an American who actually can say something, who don't know that you can say something? This is just uncomfortable. This is insane to me. I gotta go home and do number 2. I gotta go home when I'm on my period. You gotta call off when you're on your period. Like, that's crazy. So it was just a lot. It was a lot. When I tell y'all, if y'all can't take all that little bit of what I said, and that's a little bit. If y'all can't take that little bit of what I'm saying and understand why I literally lost so many parts of myself, why I lost confidence in myself, I lost confidence in my voice, I felt like I was powerless. Like, I literally I was doubting Allah. Like, I was trying to figure out why Allah brought me there in the first place. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot for me Islamically. It was a lot for me mentally, emotionally. It was a lot. Like, I was coming home angry every single day. To the point where my husband was like, he would literally be like, I don't even be excited for you to come home from work no more. Like, I don't even be excited to come back and see you when he get off work, because I already know that you either finna start crying, you finna start screaming, you finna tell me something that they did to you, and I don't like seeing my wife like that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So not only I'm miserable at school, now I'm at work. I'm getting miserable at home, because I don't want to bring what's happening at work. I don't want to bring that home, but I ain't got no choice but to bring it somewhere, or it's gonna drive me crazy. Fast forward, I don't work there no more. Let's get to the end of the video. I don't work there no more. Why I don't work there? Now, this was my choice to do. I wanted to make it seem like I had left the job for my integrity. I wanted people to think, yes, Alia left, or Madam Alia, whatever, left and she went back to America. Because you was not gonna make me look like you fired me when all that stuff be going on at that institution be going on, and then it looked like you fired me of all the work that I've done. Oh no, baby, you was not getting that satisfaction. I was not doing that. But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the boss did fire me. and did. I'm about to tell y'all what happened. So it was unlawful fire. Let's say that, okay? So, and I'm gonna put everything up here for y'all to see. So if y'all gotta pause, y'all can pause and then read or zoom in, whatever y'all need to do. I had put in a request to go home because my body started flaring up so bad. I was not eating. I was getting constipated. Like, it was a lot of stuff when you go into survival mode, or when you really stress. It's a lot of stuff that happens to your body. And so I booked the flight to go home. Now, when I booked this flight, I'm American. I think about getting fired. Hello, okay? Or I think about working. You know what I'm saying? So when I booked the flight, I had the school in mind. So I checked the calendar, and I booked my flight to like the end of May, where it was a time where we had a break. I booked it to leave that Sunday. We had a break that Friday. So I booked the flight to where I would have 4 days. I requested those 4 days of my paid leave, and then I would have the rest of the break, which was, the school was going on a break for like a week and a half, and then I would only miss 2 days of school. Like, I would literally only miss 2 days that would probably be unpaid. That's literally it. So I did what I was supposed to do. I put in my request, and I ended up telling, that was my mistake, I ended up telling somebody in administration that I was going to America. And I told this person not to communicate it with my boss until I just told the person, don't communicate it. I was gonna tell my boss when I arrived in America, because I was not gonna have my boss's evil eye on me, and then I've not been able to arrive in America. So this person took it upon themselves to tell my boss that I was in America. For whatever reason, I don't know. It don't have nothing to do with me. I don't really care. But I already knew from other past Americans, when you leave and go to America, my boss gets upset. So I did everything I was supposed to do to cover my tracks. I did my paid leave request. It was approved. So I end up, I'm flying to Brussels. I'm in Brussels, and the person that I told is like, are you seeing that the boss is trying to contact you? I said, I see it, but I'm traveling and my request is approved. I don't have to respond right now. I'm trying to get to America. So I end up getting there. When I arrive, a few hours after I arrive, I get a message from the person who's in administration and told my boss that I was in America. And it was another request, and it said that my leave request was denied. Now, mind y'all, this was in contradictory to the the approved request that I had gotten a few hours before. And so I was like, oh, I don't care. They sent me the approval. I don't care about this denied, baby. I'm already here. And so hours after I had got that now declined request, I got this message. But I got an email that basically said I abandoned my post. I left. I didn't tell nobody I was leaving, which I did. I got an approval. And if I did not show up to my place of work within 24 hours, I would be dismissed without pay. Da-da-dee, da-da-da. It was basically saying like, God, that I can't leave. Girl, all this type of bull crap. And I was reading, I was like, are you really trying to tell me that I can't come back to my country? Are we okay? So you denied my request because you found out I went to America? Mind y'all, I booked my flight. Y'all probably like, Alia, why you in Senegal so fast? That was why. When I booked my non-refundable flight, I booked it in hopes with the thought of, let me come back to my job. I can't leave and neglect my job. So I booked my flight for 2 weeks. I said, whatever I got to do in those 2 weeks to get my sanity back, let me go ahead and get my sanity back. Let me come back, finish out the school year, and then I just won't return to the job. Mind y'all. So when she, the only way that my boss could not pay me for the break is if my boss had said that I neglected my duty as working. So that's what they said. So not only till right now, to this day of June 12th, have I not gotten paid at all for May. I've sent tons of emails, refused to pay me for the time that I worked in May. Not even for the break. You can keep the money for the break. For the times that for the whole month of May that I worked, refused to pay me. I stayed as long as I stayed at that school, at that job, because I didn't want to quit. I did want to quit so bad, but as a person who has walked away, I've walked away from anything that don't serve my peace. I walk away. But because I really cared about the job that I was doing, and it was certain students that I encountered that really needed what it was that I was giving them, whether that be advice, whether that be hugs, whether that be notes that I was writing them, my presence, my laughter. Some of the kids, they needed me, and I needed them just as much as they needed me, and so I stayed. I did not want to leave because I was like, okay, I know Allah gonna be asking me about the crazy stuff, but I'm also gonna be rewarded for the good stuff of me, being here. That job changed me so much. To when I went back to America for those 2 weeks, I was so uncomfortable being around people. I have so much social anxiety. And I know now, with even just like the few days that I have not been working there, it's probably been 3 weeks now that I haven't been working there. I'm so excited to be in Senegal the way that I was here when I first got married and came here. I'm so excited to see the country, to see new stuff, try new foods, meet new people. Like, I'm so excited to start my business. I'm finna start doing my locks. I'm finna start doing the fruit cups. Like, I'm so excited to really do what it was that Allah called me to do. But in order for me to be able to start a business, to see the country for the way that it is, the fruitfulness of the country, you know what I'm saying, regardless to the culture shocks that I'm like now kind of used to, I had to go through this experience of hardship in order to have ease. Y'all know me. Y'all know if I could get a tattoo that says with hardship come ease, I literally would, because that's literally my entire 3 years of life story as a revert. With hardship come ease. And the hardships Allah be giving me, a lot of people, y'all probably be judging me. I really don't care. But y'all probably be judging me for the hardships that Allah be putting me through at the ripe age of 25 that I be going through. But I guarantee you, when I'm 30, when I'm 31, at the age that most of these people be that be acting crazy, bro, I'ma be so like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, the day I have children, my children gonna have to want for nothing. My children will never have to ask advice to nobody because they mama done went through it all. Now, don't let my experience at this place scare y'all from getting a job up in Senegal. If that's what you want to do, if you want to come here and start working for some time to learn the language, to learn the culture, do it. If it's hard, you might just have to suck it up, because working in Senegal is not easy. Mind y'all, I'm only telling y'all my story, but the story that I'm telling y'all, this is like, a lot of people have this story. A lot of Senegalese people have the exact same similar story that I have. It just might not be as bad because they can communicate with the people. You know what I'm saying? They can say stuff in French and stuff in Wolof. Like, that's it. But if you do want to get a job here, if you do want to get an internship or whatever it is, do it. Just know that it will be hard. Just know that. Just know the conditions will not, you cannot compare them to America. Know that you might be alone. You might not have the ability to be able to get a lawyer and call the lawyer and tell the lawyer this. Or you might not have an HR department where they actually care about what you got going on. Know that people might be jealous of you. Know that people might try to intimidate you to leave, just to test to see how strong you are. Know that that might happen. But know that you might grow. You are going to grow. You're gonna learn some things about yourself. You're gonna learn some things about the culture. You might make a friend or two. Like, there will be some pros to the cons. So don't be taking it like, oh, Alia, you just went through hell. I did go through hell. I sure did. But while I was going through this hell, may Allah protect me from the hellfire. While I was going through that, when you are a person of discernment, when you are a person that moves entirely, hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakil, Allah will literally not give you too much that you can bear. You'll be okay. You will literally be okay. Look at me. I lost a lot. I lost parts of myself. I lost some confidence, but I'm going to build it back. I'm going to be cool. So when y'all see me popping out in my businesses, inshallah, y'all better support me. Y'all better support me, because it's been a long time coming, Bookie. But I really just wanted to give y'all clarity on what happened. I'm done talking about this job. Don't ask me no more questions about this job. I'm done talking about it. I am so excited to show y'all the beauties of Senegal. I've already told y'all about the culture shocks. We don't got to talk about that no more. Now we just got to focus on Alia building while she up in Senegal, going back and forth from America if I do decide to go back, whenever I decide to go back. Now we just get to see the beauty. Now we just get to flourish, and we get to eat we get to drink our bisap and eat our chelbajin every day. You know what I'm saying? And actually enjoy being still a newlywed, because I am still very much a newlywed, okay? It don't get no better than that. So thank y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. A lot of y'all be watching my videos and y'all do not subscribe. Make sure you comment. I do want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts. Be easy on me, okay? I know y'all know I'm from the South, so sometimes I don't say stuff the way that y'all be wanting me to say it. I'm sorry. This is just the way that I know how to talk.